Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Tuesday morning. It is now the 12th day of March, 2024. This is the morning briefing coming to you from my home weather office. And as I look out the window from the home weather office, it's cloudy, it's a little drizzly. We didn't get much rain overnight. Most valley spots are around 1/10 of an inch of rain or less. Some foothill spots, especially in El Dorado County, Placer County, Nevada County, were a little bit better, around 1/4 to as much as 1/2 an inch of rain. And there will continue to be some drizzle and mist on the west slope of the Sierra, probably through the middle part of the day, maybe even into the early afternoon. So for those of you from, let's say, Nevada City all the way down toward, let's say, an area like Jackson and up toward Volcano and Pioneer, it may take a while before the clouds break up. In the Sierra, as I'm recording this, we still have chain controls on Interstate 80. We picked up around 4 to 5 inches of snow in the Sierra from the ski resorts. So not a big dumping, but enough to make the roads slippery. All this will be clearing out, and then we're going to be looking at some dry weather for a stretch, and it's going to be wind that may be a bit of an issue, especially in the mountains. A really interesting situation setting up that I'll show you here in a second. Here's the satellite showing the best of the weather system from last night, now moving off to the east, but we still have this flow coming in off the Pacific that'll keep us in some clouds throughout much of the day. The valley may break out into some sunshine as we get into the afternoon, but generally the west slope is probably going to stay socked in throughout much of the day with cloud cover. So all those spots in the foothills that I mentioned, yeah, it may stay cloudy today in Placerville and Camino and Pollock Pines with occasional drizzle. But the valley, especially the west side of the valley, from, let's say, Fairfield through Tracy and Patterson, may see a little bit of sun as we go through the afternoon. The HRRR this morning, picking it up, shows that activity on the west slope. And the green that you see here, it's all very, very light. This is the middle part of the day. Once again, you can see some activity on the west slope. The valley, really not much going on. And then in the afternoon, we may see these little pop-up showers. I don't think they'll be thunderstorms, but they still could be what we call convective showers. There's some very limited instability behind this. And we may see these little pop-up showers that don't last very long. And those are possible in the valley around 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then we get into tonight and all of it goes away. And as we get into the day tomorrow, we start off with generally light winds, but watch what happens to this pressure gradient as we go through the day tomorrow. This is the middle part of the day, and then this is the afternoon. You notice the gradient here from north to south, so higher pressure here, lower pressure here. The wind will follow the gradient. And then keep an eye on the pressure gradient in the Sierra. Look at this. So we have higher pressure here, lower pressure here, especially right here. So that means that we're going to have strong easterly flow. You know, when we saw the big storm a couple of weeks ago in the Sierra, we saw the strong winds coming from the west, and that was a totally different sort of thing. This is a surface gradient that is going to be bringing some strong winds to the crest of the Sierra on Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. I mean, look at how tight that gradient is. Woo. I'll show you the winds here in a second. This is this is late Wednesday night, so it's going to be extremely windy in the Sierra. Oh. Yeah, so just from here to here, you have a 10 millibar difference. That's huge. All right, so let me show you the way the HRRR shows that. And this is the surface wind gusts. And as we get into the day on Wednesday, you'll see the valley, especially the west side of the valley, start to see some winds gusting, 25, maybe 30 in an area like Colusa and Woodland. And in most of the valley, it'll just be breezy during the day on Wednesday and again during the day Thursday. But as that gradient in the Sierra starts to tighten up, keep an eye on the crest of the Sierra and what happens up here. Look at this. See these areas highlighted in this whitish yellowish color? Well, if you look down here on the scale, those are gusts, 65, 70 or higher. And actually what we have happen quite often here with this easterly gradient, so again, the winds coming from Nevada heading toward California, and also keep in mind that in Southern California, that's going to turn into quite an offshore event, a Santa Ana event. Yeah, look at the wind down here on the mountaintops, and then you can see the wind going offshore. So that's a classic offshore wind event there down through Ventura County, and as well as down toward Orange County. But when we see these events in the Sierra, There is an observation site here at the top of Kirkwood. It's called the top of Chair 6. And it's notorious in these sort of events for recording very strong wind gusts. So I wouldn't be surprised if overnight Wednesday, early Thursday, that we see some winds gusting up here well over 100 miles an hour. We've seen that before in these kind of conditions. So don't be surprised if you're a skier that on Thursday, some of the upper lifts may be closed. The conditions will be dry and it will be bright and sunny on Thursday, but we could have lifts held or closed on some of the higher parts of the mountains on Thursday because of that strong pressure gradient and those high winds. All right, let's talk about the big picture here and how things are going to be changing and what's going on with that pressure gradient. So here's the little weather system sliding by. And as it goes on by, you can see this low right here. As it goes by, it sets up that north gradient. So this is into Thursday, so that's when we're getting that strong gradient in the Sierra. And here's that offshore component that lasts into the day on Friday with this big high moving in. With the offshore component on Friday, that will mean a little bit less wind in the valley, but maybe stronger winds in parts of Napa, Sonoma, and Lake counties. But for the valley, we get a bit of a wind shadow in parts of the valley, but still the west side of the valley could be rather gusty. Once we get into the day Saturday, that gradient finally eases. We still have offshore flow. And once that low finally begins to fill and move out during the course of the weekend, we're back to just a big ridge. That'll mean sunshine and temperatures in the mid-70s. The weekend looks really nice. This is Monday. This is Tuesday. And it looks as though we're going to stay dry until maybe somewhere around the 22nd, depending on what happens with this low and this low out here. So if you do things outdoors, we have maybe as much as the next 10 days without anything in the way of rain, but it doesn't mean that the events are not going to be, the weather is not going to be, the weather is not going to be uneventful. We will still have those winds to deal with. So for both Wednesday and Thursday, look for winds in the valley, gusting 25, maybe 30, so not enough to do any damage, but certainly enough to trigger allergies. And for the Sierra, again, probably some very strong winds Wednesday night and into the day Thursday, maybe even into the day on Friday, that could impact some of the ski resorts. I know there's a lot of snow up there to take advantage of, and for those of you that have the time and the ability to ski midweek, there still may be some lift operations impacted, even though it'll be bright and sunny. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. It is a Tuesday. That means there will be a Facebook chat tonight at 8 o'clock. I know we didn't do one last week because of the political stuff going on, but there will be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock if you want to ask any questions over there. In the meantime, I will later on today get myself suited up and get myself presentable to be on TV at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.